Howdy folks, today we're looking at Titans Annual number 1 from 2025 in DC Comics. And here's another recent DC Annual that made its way home despite my general antipathy to the Titans. I do, however, have a soft spot for Donna Troy, a character created by mistake, whose history is a strange cascade of retconned origins nestled within decades of questionable creative decisions. This issue is nothing less than a love letter to her from a creator with many decades of experience with Wonder Woman, the Titans, and just about everyone else in the DC universe, Mr. Phil Jimenez. It's a sign of my respect for Jimenez that I've read a number of questionable comic books, owing specifically to his having drawn them. But on the other hand, this Wonder Girl focus is also one of the best single issues I've read in years. A heartfelt tribute to a character I like, who is nonetheless trapped at the center of a mythos whose appeal is often opaque to me. I don't know the details well enough to say whether this issue represents any kind of further retcon, but this is definitely still the Donna Troy you know, certainly if you grew up with Marv Wolfman and George Perez's New Teen Titans. At its core, it's a story about being an orphan and feeling that loss despite growing up surrounded by no shortage of loving found families and friends. It features the rapprochement of Donna with her estranged biological father, who left her and her mother to escape the closet, a sadly all too familiar story. Her father is gone by the time she catches up to him, making for a poignant and quite powerful story about family, history, and the persistence of queer memory. Now, it must be said, I plan these videos weeks in advance, and despite my enthusiasm for the book when I set the schedule, a great and beautiful story in so many ways and a testament to Jimenez's skill as an artist and a writer, it was ultimately with no small trepidation that I regarded the chore of assessing a monument to DC Comics history as a bastion of queer representation at this moment. Did you know that no less than 4 DC employees died of AIDS across the years of that plague? That's an important piece of history. One of those was a man named Neil Posner, Jimenez's partner through the last years of his life. This is such an effective story precisely because it deals so candidly with loss, of the real pain of having to carry on in the shadow of so many unfinished or abbreviated lives. But it feels a bittersweet achievement at this particular time. DC is a company with a deep history of queer rep both on and off the page. That's a valuable history to be preserved and shared, but it must also be emphasized DC is ultimately merely a company. DC is not a living creature with real memory or feelings. It is a business, and all businesses are cowards at their core. They put out Pride Month anthologies because those anthologies make money with a lucrative demographic. They still also sell lots of books by accused sex traffickers, and the company is happy either way. Don't get it twisted.